Thunderbolts comes out, did its thing. Did it hit the 85 million opening weekend? No, it did not. Did it crash and burn? No, it did not. How's it going to do in week 2? We don't know. But what we do know is we'll be doing some spoiler discussions. Marvel decided, hey, maybe to get more people in week 2, we're going to reveal exactly what the asterisk is. Let people see it. Good move, bad move. There's other things as far as what the Thunderbolts writer wanted to do. There's other people that are supposed to be in it. So this is going to be a spoiler-heavy conversation. So if you haven't yet seen the movie, I suggest not being here. We also have some plans for Marvel, what they want to do. There's a 10-year plan, apparently with the X-Men. So we will take a look at that. And people yelled at me from my Last of Us reaction last night. And to which I say, who cares? So that being said, it's myself, John Roca, on the show. Let's get into it. You ready? Yeah, me too. Here we go. How are you? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, and joining me on the show, as always, John Roca. What's up, John? How you doing? Hold on. Where'd you go? There we are.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Nice.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Monday. Yeah, Monday. And we will kind of cover everything going on in the world of spoilers here with Thunderbolts and all that. But I think what we should start off with is the box office, right?
Okay, sure.
That was the conversation overall, what we were expecting this thing to do. And when we kept predicting it because of word of mouth, we said 85, 86. I think originally it was clocking in around 75. And then once the word of mouth came out, they said, oh, maybe it'll do more. So it didn't. It did around 76 million. Sinners did exactly what it was supposed to do week 2 and did around 33 million. Minecraft still. What is Minecraft at, like, overall? What is that?
Yeah, oh, you're looking
73.
873.
That's crazy. It's 873. And then you look at Sinners so far.
Slowing down. I thought it would get to 1 billion. It might not even get to 1 billion now.
I just think that we're getting to a place now where, more movies are coming out.
You got too many movies. Yeah.
And Lilo and Stitch is right around the corner, and that's going to be where the families are going to go now. The Accountant 2 did pretty good with 9.5, and then
I finally saw it over the weekend. Really enjoyed it.
It was good, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but Thunderbolts, if you look at Thunderbolts now has 76. It did around 86 international with 162. So it's going to make its production budget back pretty soon, probably within the week. And we're right back to where we said we would be. It's all about week 2.
Yeah.
What kind of drop are you going to have? Because if you have a 50 to 65% drop, you're going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, word of mouth, as you said, is going to be really important here. And it already came in lower than Captain America '4 numbers. But I mean, then again, the Captain America is more of a baked in.
And Captain America probably cost $700,000.
Probably like I've seen a lot of rumors of $400 million. So I don't know, with all the reshoots and stuff. I think there's something very positive said about this, just like we said about Sinners when it came out. Like, I think there's a lot of positive things to be said about the box office performance of this movie, considering, some of these characters are from MCU shows that people probably haven't even watched. So I was really impressed to see what it did. Yes, I was hoping for 80 to 85 or maybe even 90, dreaming pie in the sky stuff, but 76 is about where they predicted it. It's got really great reviews, reviews from people, Metascore and all of that. So hopefully that's enough to inspire people. And there's a lot of positive videos about it all over the internet. So hopefully that will keep it going and have some legs over the next 2 to 3 weeks. But if I was Marvel, I'd be happy considering all the hoops they had to jump through and all the hurdles they had to overcome to just get this movie out. So, yeah.
If I'm Marvel, I'm walking in, I'm saying, all right, good start.
Yeah, good start. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, and then it's like and everybody is sitting around biting their nails waiting for week 2.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how it's going to go, because it's the same thing. Like if you saw Mufasa's numbers and like Aquaman 2's numbers, week 1 you're going and then the Aquaman 2 I think at least made a profit, or at least broke even.
Right.
And that started off real slow as compared to the first one. Yeah. And then you look at again Mufasa, which kept climbing up. Yeah. And granted, different audience. But if you are able to do that, if you can't, it's going to be another disappointment. However, the difference is this, in my opinion. Critically, they were able to win back a lot of people.
Yes.
You're not going to win back everybody. There's people there. I saw some people just going after it to go after it. There's some people who just didn't like it. And there's other people who you're like, I don't know, can I trust you? You seem to hate everything now. But there's other people who you're like, okay, they didn't like it and they give the reasons why. I understand. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But it seemed to get the goodwill back of a lot of people who were like, oh, what are they doing? Same shit. This is like a solid movie. So even if it winds up breaking even or losing a little money, not great for the box office, not great for the wallet for Marvel, but good for the psyche.
Yes, especially as a Marvel fan, right? Because it hasn't been a positive situation that we've seen overall with Marvel recently, and even Daredevil Born Again, as much as it ended on a high note with those last 2 episodes, it didn't really, I don't think it broke into the top 10 streaming numbers overall. So there've been a lot of ramifications of Marvel's path over these last 2 phases. And of course, there are people who defend these phases and feel free comparing them to other phases and what have you. But you can't deny that the pop culture mainstream isn't as excited about Marvel as it was before. And it's clear that they're voting with their eyes and with their pocketbook. And so you're seeing that play out not only on the big screen, but on the small screen as well. And so it's going to take a few movies to get people excited back into Marvel. So I think this is a good start. This is like the opening act. This really good opening act. I'm really excited about it. Let's see. I've heard this, this star is really good. I want to see them in concert. That's the Fantastic Four. That's your headlining act right now. So if those two go a 1-2 back-to-back, that's really good, then I think you're going to see a little bit of an upturn with Marvel. But we also don't know how Ironheart is going to go. They've done almost no promotion for that, and it's coming out in June.
Right, but you're not wrong. But I still think that you're not in a place, though, if that show doesn't do well, you're not in a place where you should start panicking because you really have
not panicking. But
no, because you're in a place where it's like Fantastic Four has to deliver, obviously.
Yes,
right?
100%.
And even if this, I feel like the second weekend for Thunderbolts, I don't think it's going to be like Sinners where you're like, whoa, look at that. Only 6%. I think it's going to have a significant drop.
Right.
But I think it's going to be enough that it builds. And if you look, I mean, I think you got to make like something like 380 or something or 400 in order to break even for this movie.
Right.
I think they'll do that, but it's going to be, they're going to have to push to get there. I don't think they're getting to, I think they're like 4 to 450 tops on this movie.
Yeah. 4, I think is probably, on the high side. I think 4 is like, they'd be happy with 4, right? But but I hope it gets there. But yeah, it was heavy spoilers. He said, for as good as Thunderbolts is, it's underperforming. Daredevil Born Again didn't even hit the streaming top 10, and Cat 4 didn't even break even. So you hope that if Thunderbolts is bringing back some of that goodwill, you hope Ironheart just kind of continues it. And I hear you, it might not damage it, but you're hoping it uplifts it even more.
Tomorrow, of course. You want boom, boom, hit.
Exactly.
And it's just like, but movie wise is really where you're going to gain it, right? Where you, like, if your quality, if you have a Thunderbolts movie which came out the way it was, and even if it does whatever it winds up doing, you don't love the box office, but you love the reception it got,
right?
And then you follow it up with Fantastic Four and both the budget, the box office, and critically acclaimed works going into Avengers, you're still in a good spot.
Yeah, I agree.
If you had bad numbers and bad reviews after Captain America, then you go into Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four also doesn't perform, and it doesn't do it. Then you're in trouble. Yeah. I think they pushed themselves a little bit out of trouble with making the movie as good as it was.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
But I wonder what you guys think about the box office in general. Do you think that this is something that, they should be worried about? It should have hit 85. That would have been, or 75, the initial where they were targeting. That's okay. Let's see how week 2 works. What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. All right, John, before we jump into, because we're going to go into heavy spoilers, and we're going to start with an article with the heavy spoilers. Before we do that, I was telling everybody for so long about Trade Coffee. I was telling you, I'm going, hey, we got to get you back. We got to get him back. Guys, please, let's get him back. And the audience like, I tried. I did this, and they were like, that we couldn't come back. Not enough people bought it. Well, they looked at their numbers again and said, wait a minute. People were buying it. and they're back. We got them back. We got Trade Coffee back. We got Factor back. And I'm so excited to tell you about both of them. We're going to do that, and then we'll go right into the spoilers. Here we go. You guys did it. You did it. Trade Coffee is back. Oh, my gosh. So happy. I love Trade Coffee. They are my lifeline at this point. I love them so much because coffee it's an essential for me. And I know it's not just a drink. It's a ritual. It's a lifeline. It's the bridge between half asleep and ready to conquer the day. And if it's that essential, why would you settle for anything less than extraordinary? That's where Trade comes in. It is the #1 U.S. coffee destination. It brings you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. You take the quiz, and in under a minute, they're going to match you with your perfect coffee. If that first bag isn't quite right, Trade's going to replace it for free until they nail it. If you're headed out on summer vacation, with Trade subscription flexibility, you can pause it, or you can shift delivery while you're away and resume when you're home, ensuring you'll come home to great coffee. And that is exactly what I've been doing. I have gotten to a place where I got this massive, huge, big bag. And I'll be honest, I thought, I'm not going to be able to go through all this. Blasted through this bag because it's so delicious. And I'm showing it off to everybody. When people come over and they visit and guess, you got to try this coffee. And that's exactly what I do. I got everybody talking about Trade. And that's why they came back. And right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/Kristian. That's drinktrade, TRADE.com/Kristian for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/Kristian. You know why they're back, guys? Because of you guys. That's why they're back. You guys have seen how good they are. Get yourself some Trade. You will not regret it. I told you guys I've been really focusing in on health. I've been trying to make sure that I'm eating the right stuff. And Factor has made that very simple for me. You got to make it your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Because eating well has never been this easy. You just heat up, you enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and they're ready to eat. They're perfect for any active lifestyle. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfast, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It is easy to savor more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. I have been loving what Factor has been providing to me. Like I told you, I have my live show. I go to the gym. I come back. I have something great. They have protein meals. They have a lot of different things. It just goes right to the style that you're looking for. Because if you want to get healthy stuff on the go, feeling good, you get Factor. And you can get started at factormeals.com/Kristian50 off and use that code Kristian50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Kristian50 off at factormeals.com/Kristian50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Giving you deals, both Trade Coffee and Factor. I mean, come on. And I'm hoping that Luke or PLD is able to put the descriptions in there pretty quick, so you guys can get them, because we don't want that to happen again. We don't want them to leave. We want to show them what we're capable of. We are as Matt Sarah says, the little podcast that can. And I think that you guys are, you proved it. You proved it and you brought them back. So thank you for doing so. All right, Johnny, here's what we got.
What do you got?
What do you got? Right now you got 12 or 14. 12 or 14. Hold on. 12. But that's good. We just started. And you're gonna set the week because Roxy coming in. Roxy got 2 in a row. 2 in a row now, Roxy. Yeah. 2 in a row. So we'll see if John usually sets the stage for people who want to add some questions. You get John going. John's usually been starting off the week pretty strong. So let's see if we Showdown. I built a platform that everyone else can succeed on, just like the Showdown. Yeah. That's fair. Totally fair. Right. All right. Spoiling. Yeah. We're spoiling a lot here today. So if you have not seen the Thunderbolts, I suggest not watching, because we're going to be getting into it. And the first thing is the asterisk, man. It was like, look at that. Following the Thunderbolts release, Marvel Studios has revealed the first posters for the new Avengers, which, of course, at the end, they reveal that that's who they are. Marvel Studios is no longer keeping Thunderbolts a big asterisk secret under wraps, as the studio has officially released a series of posters with the new Avengers name front and center. Check it out. Secret is officially out, as Marvel Studios has shared a series of social media posts with posters for the new Avengers, the movie formerly known as Thunderbolts. Might seem premature so soon after opening weekend, but a video featuring the cast revealing the title change clearly taken during the premiere confirms that this has been the plan for a while now. However, you've got to feel for the Taskmaster actor Olga Kurylenko being included in the group shot, all things considered. So, is this an official title change? It's hard to say, but what else are we supposed to think after seeing these posts? Had Thunderbolts been a critical and commercial flop, we doubt that Marvel Studios would have tarnished the Avengers brand by highlighting the post-credits scene reveal. However, with Thunderbolts receiving widespread acclaim and fans falling in love with these characters, why not make the new Avengers part of the multiverse saga ahead of Avengers Doomsday release next year? The exhibitor exclusive posters for Dolby 4DX, Real D, Real D, 3D, IMAX, Screen X, and Fandango have also been rebranded with the new Avengers, suggesting this could be considered as the Thunderbolts' new title. When you search for the new Avengers on Letterboxd, for example, Thunderbolts is displayed, so spreading the word about the name change looks to have been a deliberate effort by Disney and Marvel. There it is. So they're changing this here, calling it the new Avengers. Now, this is an interesting question. Okay, look, part one.
Okay,
you're showing your cards, and you're giving away this big reveal at the very end of the movie, which is the whole point of it. Right. And you're gonna, if you are looking forward to seeing what the hell's going to happen, and they're like, well, they just told you, so clearly they're going to be the new Avengers, and now the question is, how do they get there? Right now, the other side of it is, you had no interest in this movie whatsoever. You're a casual viewer. You don't know what's happening. And the next thing you know, you see posters for new Avengers. It's catchy. It'll get your eye. And you're going, what the hell's that? And they go, well, that's that Thunderbolts movie. It's actually called New Avengers. Oh, really? How? And then it might get people into the theater.
Sure.
Week 2 is going to, this is why I think I understand both arguments here. I get the argument of the desperation side of it. I get it. I get the argument of you're spoiling a big plot detail, but I also get the argument of, yeah, but let's see what happens and if it affects week 2. Because if you look and let's say week 2 has a 10% drop or 20% drop because of the new title, you'd have to, or you have to assume that the new title had something to do with it. But what do you make of all this?
I think it's a fascinating decision that they've made here, or campaign that they've put forth PR wise. Yeah, I'm fascinated by it because it's just like the chairs, right? The chairs thing that you did a whole video on, and a lot of people made a lot of views off of watching a bunch of chairs for 5.5 hours. You can argue about it, but you can't argue its effect and how many people watched it.
Right.
And so you look at this, and there seems to be a new approach to how they're doing things here, PR wise, and how they're doing things marketing wise at Marvel. They're trying to try new things. So this is the approach they have with Thunderbolts. Put the asterisk there so that everyone thinks it's a completely different team and it's something else. Then you reveal what you reveal at the end in the post-credit scene. It's not even in the movie. It's at the post-credit scene that it's revealed, right? So it's like right at the end of the movie, but really in the post-credit scene where you see them fully being the new Avengers, which is what I'm getting at. And so you wait till that moment. Now you've blown that ending by putting this out there because you're trying to get people to come see the movie. So it could work, and it could blow up in their faces because they can be like, well, why do I need to go see the movie? Now I know they're the new Avengers. I just look at them on the poster and I know they're the new Avengers, and they've already told me that they survived the movie. So I just have to focus on Doomsday next. I don't even have to go see it. So it could be genius to get people in theater. It could also get people not to go to the theater because they don't need to watch it. So they know what happens.
I mean, it's true. Look, the one side of it is, because you just said, well, we know she survived the movie. Well, Taskmaster's buried in the back and she doesn't survive the movie. So we know that.
How many people are crying about that?
Right. But I'm just saying, but you look at it, and I think that the point of it is, though, of the movie, yes, you can make an argument that the whole point is them having to work together, learn how to do it. Like even when they show up at the end to kind of unite to save Bob, it's like, they have to do it together, and they have to find each other. And there's that's why I kept referencing like that whole Inception moment, like that whole thing, because that's Inception. The whole way that the feel, the tone, everything about it was very Inception. And then they need to trust each other and work together. And that is okay. Well, how is this group going to work together? I don't think that the whole movie is about them becoming the Avengers. They just kind of happen to, by circumstance, turn into the Avengers. It's about them being a group. It's about them being able to work together. It's about them,
a team, right?
As a team. It's not, but it's more so. Wouldn't you agree that the movie is about them having to work together to find out how they're going to exist as a team?
Of course, yes, 100%. But we have so many.
We want to be the Avengers,
Sure. And well, we have so many movies like that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of, well, what's going to make this one different to make me want to get in the theater? And look, the reviews are the reason. A lot of people's positive reviews, a lot of people's positive word of mouth on the movie. You want to go have fun with a movie like this, with a Marvel movie, superhero team up movie, then come have fun with this movie. By the end, they are the new Avengers. But if you're the kind of person that's like, you know what, I was kind of on the fence about it, and now I know that by the end they are the new Avengers, and these are the ones that survive. That's my point here, is that I can see people being like, well, I don't need to go see it because I've already seen team up movies. But of course, completists will want to go, and I think there are people who hesitated going. Now they know that this is actually going to lead to a bigger story within the MCU, and they want to go see it. Yeah.
Well, it's just that name, right? It's like if I say to somebody, hey, I'm going to see a movie right now. What are you going to see? Thunderbolts. What's that? Right. I'm going to go see a movie. What are you seeing? The new Avengers. It's a Marvel movie. Oh, it's like, what is that? It's about the new Avengers. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'll go see it. It's a bankable IP. You know,
it is.
It's in the same way when you're like, okay,
I've got a star to sell it from. You don't have a star to sell it from.
No, you don't. And that's the difference, right? Where you always say, like, if you look at like a big franchise, like Star Wars, you put a big franchise, you say, or Star Wars. Well, we're going to put Ryan Gosling in it. Great. Yeah. It's good. It's Star Wars with Ryan Gosling. That's cool. You know, and then if you put someone else in there, it's like, oh, well, great. That person, it wasn't Daisy Ridley that was selling you. Daisy Ridley became a star because of Star Wars, right? Yeah. And the Thunderbolts, it's like, well, we don't know what the Thunderbolts is. It's a Marvel movie. Oh, like the Eternals? No, it's not like the Eternals. We swear. And it's like the Avengers, new Avengers. Like, oh, who are the new Avengers? It brings a mystery and potential excitement about it. Plus, then you go, let me go look at the new Avengers and see what that's doing pretty well on Rotten Tomatoes. People say this is pretty good. Maybe, hey, there's a new Avengers movie. You want to see the Avengers movie? Let's go see the Avengers movie. That could help. It could backfire, like you said, but it could help.
Yeah, it could go both ways. And by star, I hope people understand. I mean, like, you know, Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, they're not putting butts in seats like Tom Cruise and all that. So it's like you've got two really great actors, arguably, and they are stars.
They're on their way. This should make Florence Pugh a big.
I hope so.
She carries the movie for sure, and she's like she's phenomenal in it. And I guess that can get us into the beginning of this movie, where it really starts off. You see it quick that it's her story from the second. I am curious in the trope where they just did this on you. Like, I'm not going to give a full Last of Us spoiler thing because that's not what this episode is, but they do the same type of thing that I guess it's a minor spoiler. So, but kind of there's a character that they're setting you up for, like, they're talking to someone, but you know something else is going down. How about that? That's it's not that too big of a spoiler, but that's the same thing that but it's predictable then now because everybody's doing it. It's not like, oh, you never really believe, like when she's showing up and she's like talking to someone, you're like, oh, she's clearly talking to someone that is either chained up or beat up or whatever. And it's a funny moment, and it's not them take it away. I don't think if they're trying to trick you that she's actually talking to somebody, it's not working. Okay. But if it's more so like, you know what's coming, wait till you see it. And it gets pretty violent. And she winds up killing the scientist and everybody else in the room. And she doesn't, she's bored. She's bored at her job. And who hasn't been there? Right. You know, so, and the fact that she wants purpose. So what do you think about, like, the overall opening?
I thought it was great. You know, the energy they brought from the beginning is one of where we've been with Yelena through the Black Widow movie into Hawkeye, and so we've seen her and we've seen what Florence Pugh can do with that character, and so starting with her now, dealing with the ramifications of everything that came before, which I like. It's a continuity thing, right? I've lost my sister, my dad hasn't talked to me in a year, which we find out. She's unhappy with her job because she's being used by Valentina, which is, we saw that in the post-credit scene where she came up to talk to her, and so we have all of these threads that lead us to this moment here at the beginning. But like you said, there's a universality here. Now, of course, there's mental health stuff here as well, because she's clearly depressed. She's in a depression. And so people who understand depression, we know that the things she's talking about can lead to darker places. But for people who don't have those impulses to go in depression, yes, you feel, everyone has that moment, or most people have that moment where they're working a job that they're good at, but they hate doing the job.
They feel bored.
It's not satisfying, and they're bored. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I think and I saw some people who had commented on it about the fact that, like, I didn't need a mental health thing. I didn't want it's like it made the characters real.
Yeah.
It made them real. You're like, oh, I get it. I understand what they're going through. Like, it's not just, they're not just superheroes kicking the shit out of everybody. They got things that they're going through. And it's like, you would get like the PTSD. Nobody had a problem with Tony when Tony was going through all the shit he was going through. When he was going through the mental health stuff in Iron Man 3 and all that too, after the PTSD he had from New York, that was always there too.
Not even Endgame. They're all dealing with the loss of everybody from Infinity War. Yeah.
100%. So what, to show that she's just kind of empty, and what they stayed consistent with, and that's why I said it was so important for people to see the Black Widow movie. And I don't think that's really a great movie, to be honest with you. I think it's like average at best, but it's her relationship that stays consistent because she is the only one, when you watch that movie, she wants that family to be real.
Yes.
She's holding on to it, and she looks upon Natasha as her sister. She looks upon those two as her mom and dad. And it's consistent in this. She's looking for the relationship with Lexi. She's looking for she calls him dad religiously throughout the whole thing. The scene with him and her, when he goes chasing after her down the street, it was great because it gave a different layer to what David Harbour was doing too, because he does the whole, look at me, I'm the red, whatever the hell he is. He's like, the Red Guardian, and he's like, look at me, I'm great. And that's hilarious that he does that stuff, but you need more to him in order for us to care. And that scene did that.
Well, and they built to that scene because you had different scenes with him constantly trying to elevate her, support her, because like when she comes to visit him at that place he's living in, he says, your light is dimming, your light has dimmed. And when he picks them up in the limo, which is a hilarious dad don't embarrass me moment.
It's hilarious.
When they're in the limo, he says to her, your light is brighter. You're shining brighter. So he knows her, even though he admits to her in that scene later on, as you were referencing, that he is terrible at being able to be there for someone. He is always supporting them, even from afar. And so in that moment, he gets the chance to be just like in Black Widow, when he went in there and sang American Pie to her to help her out. And you bring up a great point, Kristian. The reason she wants this family to stay, the reason she hungers for family is because it was ripped away from her at a younger age than it was Natasha. Like Natasha was a teenager or becoming a teenager so she was a little more mature when it was ripped away. So she had a little different perspective. Yelena was much younger. So there is something that was ripped away from her. And then she was thrust into the Red Room and we saw her memory. So all of that carries into why she feels the way she does about the situation, why it affects her more than it does Natasha.
And even the fact when she goes to visit him and he thinks the scene that they put out in the trailer, they thinks it's DoorDash and they have this whole thing. He's like, I'm doing great. Everything's fine. And it's a good setup to eventually what comes, because when I think we both talked about this and agreed, it's the best that Julia Louis-Dreyfus has been in this 100%. Series, because they gave her more. 100%. Also, even when you talk about that, when you see after Sentry goes into her mind and you see the backstory of the shit that she went through when she was younger with her father, I love that element. It made you understand all the stuff that she was doing, and it really is. And why I think that, going back to our previous conversation with the new Avengers thing, it really is the warped version of the Avengers. I mean, you look at, she's the anti Nick Fury. She's the opposite of the kind of Black Widow. You got Captain America. You have all this and this crazy shit that's going on with this team. Right. I mean, I guess I don't know who. I guess there's like 3 Captain Americas really. You got David Harbour, Sebastian, and Wyatt Russell. Who again, Wyatt Russell? What they do with him, and it's the best that he is as Walker. They give him more layers, and it made you like John Walker. Is what they did in this one, which is really smart, because that's stuff that he's bullshitting about his family, and what he's been going through, and the volumes of and the levels of questioning himself, and then being neglected kid and the whole time.
I'm just amazed at people, because I saw some people coming after John Walker. The character's like, oh, he's a deadbeat dad. He's a this or that. There's a great line, right? What is it? Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I don't think anybody should be judging these characters for having like real life things occur in their lives. You know what I'm saying? It's different if you're judging someone who's like a mass murderer. That's a different situation. All right, this guy killed a terrorist who had killed his friend, and he lost control in that moment. And in that moment, he is paying for the loss of control since that moment. And you see him doom scrolling, which is terrible for anybody to do. I speak from personal experience. And it's affecting his relationship with his wife, with his child. Those are real world things that people go through. So people going on Twitter who apparently have never committed a sin, never did anything wrong in their real lives, coming after him and denigrating him, I thought was just mind-numbingly stupid. All of these characters have something they're overcoming, which makes it a universal movie, because we all have stuff we have to overcome every day sometimes in order to function or feel happy or find our way through life. And so I think that's what was important with all of these characters.
I think that, I don't think you're wrong, but I think that from what I saw, majority of people were in support of him. But
I've seen some other ones.
Yeah, of course. But you know what's funny is that Ghost is also way better in this movie than she was in Ant-Man 2. However, I would have liked to seen some scenes with her.
100%.
And I get it. You're like, well, you already saw her story in the second movie in Ant-Man 2, and we know her whole backstory because of Lawrence Fishburne and all that. And I understand that, but I just think she needed a little bit more.
Right.
She was the only one I thought that wasn't as layered. She's great. She's great in the movie, but she's not as layered as you got. Everybody else had more layers to them in this one.
You could argue that Yelena Belova, we've seen a lot of her already, but still they put a scene in this movie with her going back to that moment where she tricked a classmate of hers from the Red Room to be killed.
It was massive.
We didn't need that, but it was necessary for the arc they were telling with her. So I agree. Ghost needed one as well, because Hannah John Kamen is a damn good actress. You know, I've been watching her in British stuff for years. So the fact that she got this role, I thought was great. The fact that they fleshed her out in this movie was great, but give her more to do. She can handle it. So I hope they do in the future do that. But I agree with you. We should have seen some backstory or scene with her that affected her, you know.
Maybe we will. I don't know. But then Taskmaster, like the only problem, what's funny is so that scene, and I loved it. I love that Valentina's trying to basically get everyone to clean up all the dirt. So she sends them all in to kill each other. Great scene. Yeah, absolutely great scene. Gives them all clearance to get into this place, and they're all going after each other.
It's amazing.
It is. And then when Taskmaster gets shot, I automatically said, "Oh, she's dead," because some stupid publication on Twitter, whatever it is, a surprising death in the beginning of I'm like, what are you doing? Wait until the fucking movie comes out. What are you doing? So, and even so, like but that type of thing. So I knew, I was like, whoa, they guessed it, because I would have said, oh, they're gonna have her come back, but I knew she was toast because of that article. And it was a ballsy thing to do, because, and I also liked yes, there was an emotional attachment to Elena because she knew what that woman went through.
Yeah,
as a Black Widow.
Right.
But they didn't spend too much time grieving on it. They said, that sucks. And they didn't make Ghost feel bad for it. They said that was what she was here. We're all trying to do that to one another anyway.
Yeah.
Sucks that happened. Sucks that, that maybe that's what they could have done with Ghost. Maybe she could have had a little bit more guilt over it because she realized,
Yeah. Well, apparently there were seen the rumors that were seen, what I've seen online, they were seen shot with Ghost where she had more, Taskmaster had more to do with the movie, and where she was constantly going through amnesia, like she was forgetting stuff, her memory loss. And so every time she would forget her memory, she would try to kill John Walker. So that was kind of because that was her last assignment. So that was a thing that apparently was running through the movie, and they eventually axed it, and they have her do that one scene. So a lot of people are like, oh, why did Olga come back for just to show her face for 7 seconds? And it was like, no, I think there were more scenes that were shot with Olga, but in the end, they decided to kill her off and adjusted the film in that manner. And that's why she hasn't been part of any of the promotional stuff. I think she did show up at the premiere, because why not? You might as well, you got to work the system as an actress.
Sure.
But I think there was more here. They just decided to kill her off, because I think Feige, this is a preview of Feige. He's going to start culling a lot of characters before we get as we go into the new phases. Like,
you got to clean some stuff up, man.
That's what he's going to do. And so enjoy, they're going to be killed. Yeah.
And even when I say, because look, we just talked about how we thought Ghost needed a little bit more development.
Yeah.
If you kill off Taskmaster, you don't have to give her any more development. She did.
Exactly.
Right. So
for better.
And what the most important thing is, it's not these characters. You got to make us care about Sentry. You got to make us care about Bob. And they did it. And they really did. And Lewis Pullman was fantastic. He was fantastic, because he gets you to that point when you see him and you're like, all right, this guy's awkward. He's really part of this program that they talked about, that she was talking about with her assistant. And then you see kind of, okay, he's trying to figure out what the hell he's basically just almost like Vision. He's like, you can look at him as Vision, Thor, and Hulk kind of wrapped into one, because he's kind of created that particular way. He can't control it, and what it is, it's like the most powerful thing ever. Like, how the hell is Doom going to fight that thing?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And I love that they respected the fact that he came, with the mental health stuff. That is a big deal for his character in the movies, in the comic books. They didn't add that in the movie. That is a big, big deal for him in the comic books. And that's what makes his power so unsettling, because when he's level-headed and he's, in a good place, he's incredibly difficult to destroy. And I love the scene where he's like realizing that he is a god through what Valentina said to him. He said, well, you said I could beat all the Avengers at once, and Thor is a god, so I might be a god. And so throwing that in the mix, I thought was really interesting and chilling. So, and Lewis did, as you said, Lewis did a fantastic job navigating this unsettled kid who
recovering
addict who has issues from upbringing with his dad and whatever, and the vacillation between delusions of grandeur and horrible bouts of depression. So having that all be a part of it and giving that kid power, it's a scary nuclear weapon you've created inside of a human being.
It just shows you how crazy Valentina and all the rest of them are, because if you give an ex-meth addict a knife, you should be scared. Imagine giving them this. And it's like, and dude, when he goes back in that chicken thing, it was like hilarious, hilarious and scary.
Yeah.
Like really eerie the way that they did that. And I loved the non-traditional ending with him. It's like because what you could have done is just the same old thing where they all have to go up and they're fighting them and they're doing all that, but like they can't fight them. They have to mentally go in there. And it also shows, because I didn't know where they were going to go. I was like, okay, what are they going to do with Sentry now? And it's like, oh, Lewis Pullman's gonna be kind of one and done. And it's like, no, they really did transition him into this Bruce Banner type guy where he's like, I don't want to control this. I got to be, I want to control this. I want to be careful. I don't want this. And he even says in that post-credit scene, like, we don't want that to happen. So I'm staying calm. But it was that whole buildup. And you mentioned not only him being an addict, but like the abusive family that he lived in. And even that it was so like you felt for him, where he's like, this is the most peaceful room in this whole thing.
Yeah.
But you got to go through this part of it for a second. It goes away, and then it's like, you just feel for it. I like how dark the movie went at times.
Me too. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was gutsiness, and Jake Schreier and some other people have been being part of the Marvel campaign saying, oh, it's an A24 movie, and they were joking about it because it had some people who were involved with A24 movies. But I saw one reviewer, I think it was in the Vulture, say like, this is a film that is as close to A24 as you're going to get within the larger Marvel universe. And I thought that actually does work in terms of the explanation, because they do go a little deeper into mental health than you might expect for a populist film, a populist brand like Marvel to do. And I really appreciated it. And as someone who does suffer and has suffered mental health issues in the extreme way, in extreme manners in times past, I thought they honored it really well. Could they have gone deeper? Could they have done more nuance, more specificity, more complexity? Sure. But this is not the tableau for that. This is not where you want to do that kind of conversation. Because you're still trying to appeal to a 4-quadrant audience. So to me, I thought they did it in a way that was respectful and honored people who do suffer that kind of stuff. And remember, this is just his first instance with it where a group steps forward to navigate him out of it. I saw some people going, well, it was resolved too quickly. Well, he's never had people step up, walk through the darkness for him and hug him. That's huge. Now, the next one is going to be more ferocious, because anyone with mental health issues will tell you, just because you solve it the first time it happens, the second time it happens, or the third or fourth time, it'll come with much more ferocity, because it kind of adapts. Because your mind.
Look what happened with the Hulk. The Hulk couldn't control it right away. The Hulk is the same thing. The Hulk was, even when you look at when Wanda got in the Hulk's head and everything that you control it for a little bit, but then one little episode or something too, and you look at remember when his eyes were all red and Tony was trying, and that whole the place just got wrecked because there's only so long you can control it. Yeah. And that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It is. And speaking of Hulk, is Doom going to use Sentry the same way that Loki used Hulk? It's like,
it's a good question.
And I guess that kind of leads into, there's more stuff to discuss as far as the overall movie, because like you said, Bucky's another one. Bucky's Terminator entrance was the best.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and what he's trying to do, and I like that he's trying to invest. He's still that same guy. He's the guy who's trying to do right now, and he's trying to figure it out, and he's using the assistant to try to figure out, okay, can I infiltrate here? Can I take her down? And who are these band of idiots that I have to go after? Because when he shows up and he just wipes everybody out, and they're like, yeah, Bucky, and then he takes them out too. That was a great moment. And then like I said, there were some moments where the humor didn't work. There were other times that it did. And I thought the stuff that did work is when he's on the phone and they're telling Bob, like, great, because it's like, okay, yeah, we've been telling you, man. And then they had that Die Hard moment when they were all together trying to get out, and they're doing the thing up there's like so many memorable moments in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I love the fact that he's washing his arm in the dishwashing machine. I think that was hilarious.
That was good.
It's a nice little twist there. But also, he's also involved in that scene where Sentry fully shows you his powers. He rips off Bucky's arm and beats him with it. Like, that is scary, and then tosses it away like it's nothing. But yeah, Bucky again, and someone mentioned this last night on our spoiler review on the Geek Buddies, that like Bucky is one of the 2 characters that has been a through line through all the phases, right? Like Loki and Bucky, I think, are the only 2 that are all the way through these phases. And I think that's speaks volumes about how much Marvel have valued both of those characters and how they've grown in their estimation of Bucky recently over the last few years, because he's kind of a low-key Tony Stark. They toss him into these series and movies, and even the voiceover stuff with What If, Sebastian Stan is happy to do all of it, and he delivers a great performance every time he's in there doing it. And this movie was no different at all.
I agree with you, and I think let's just dive into like the post-credit scene.
Okay,
because you get the first one, which it's hilarious that they put up the thing with the Red Guardian, and he's out there. He's trying to show him he's loving the success, and he's trying to get his flowers, as they say. And
let me ask you something. Do you think he's the Paulie of the MCU universe? Like, Paulie was always coming up with stuff in Rocky to like make money off Rocky.
But yes, but he's not as angry as Paul.
No, he's not as angry. No, you're right. He's not. He's a much more jovial guy.
Yeah. He's more. I think he's more like Rob Schneider. Look at me. He's hanging out with Adam Sandler and everybody too. I think that, but he's way more jovial for sure. But I think he's doing. I think it's a fun scene.
Yeah,
it's a fun scene in general. And someone mentioned too, like when she calls him Santa Claus and everything too. It's like it's great. Like that whole moment when you really get to see what Sentry is capable of. Because there is that kind of like he's like Superman, and he's just, there's nothing that they can do. I mean, he just bitches Bucky.
It's scarier than any dark moment in the movie. Seeing the speed, ferocity, and just utter not a big deal approach he has to dispatching the entire team. It is unsettling, man.
Yeah, and when he starts because what's great is that when he starts taking people out, and you see that crazy shadow, and that effect was just so good. Once, because you think, oh, he's killing everybody, but once Yelena does it, obviously, like, oh, okay, well, everybody's not dead. He's just putting people in this kind of realm and showing them their darkness. Because then that's how they're able to ultimately save it.
Right.
But even her plan, Valentina's plan of like, well, I'm going to expose them, and then realizing and shifting on a dime, going, no, actually, I'm going to use you guys. And I love that scene at the end when they reveal it, and Yelena's like, we own you now.
Yeah, that's what Bob says to her. We own you.
Yeah. No, Yelena says it to her.
No. They say it to Yelena. Oh, Yelena says that. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant Valentina. I got confused there.
Yelena says it to Valentina.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, and she's like, we own you now. And you're like, you damn right you do. Because and now that they're this whole team. So then you get that first scene. Then the second scene, which they've confirmed. The second I'm watching that scene, I'm like, this is not the same director that directed this. I said the Russos clearly directed this scene. It was very similar to me, like Civil War. They've done this before. They did this with Civil War when it was Bucky kind of chained up and Falcon and Cap are there. And then you see this, which I was like, they're putting this scene is going to be in Doomsday.
Yeah.
Clearly. And it's going to be when Fantastic Four shows up and all that. And it could be probably the beginning of the movie. It might even open up the freaking movie because it just started shooting. So this is probably the first thing that they shot during it. And I liked it because, again, you see that dynamic, and then you find out, and you probably see this type of scene in the movie also, that Sam is not on board with this.
Right.
A lot of the people in the universe, or the world rather,
Yeah.
are not on board with this, and it's conflicting who are the real Avengers, and then they've got to do. So you're going to have two different teams here. I wonder who his team is going to be, because right now I like this team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's Shang-Chi, probably.
Shang-Chi, yes, absolutely.
Kate Bishop, probably.
Yeah.
You're probably going to, I mean, you got to be careful with getting too many kids.
Yeah, because that's Young Avengers. That's a different Avengers team.
Different, right? So, and is Tom Holland part of his Avengers? Because that's
maybe
that's a big all-star. That's you got to really recruit now in order for us to care, because we're coming off of this and we care about this team, this new Avengers team.
Yeah. Would it be Thor? Are you going to is Black Panther? Which Black Panthers are going to be? Is Ant-Man part of the team?
I assume him and they're tight, so I would assume Ant-Man.
Yeah,
they have history,
right?
So it's going to be. So someone says Shang-Chi, Thor, Captain Marvel, Hulk, Wong, and Ant-Man. That's possible. Doctor Strange. I don't know. I don't think Wong or Doctor Strange are going to get involved with the Avengers, though. I don't
think Captain Marvel is going to get involved with the Avengers either. She's very much her own thing, man.
She's her own thing.
She would lead the team, which a lot of people would be upset about. So I don't think they want to do that.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to play. Yeah. But the way that they do it, and then they show, like, the Fantastic Four kind of coming in and breaking through. So clearly, the events of Fantastic Four are going to play into Doomsday as we expected.
Right.
And that does give you that kind of hype of, all right, well, now I guess I really got to see what the events are going to happen in Fantastic Four. We have one of our loyal viewers, E. Roberts, who says, he's been trying to bet me that he's thinking that Thunderbolts is going to make more money overall than Fantastic Four. He said he's out of his mind, especially now. There's no world where he still thinks that. If he does, I'd be very surprised. But especially because of Thunderbolts, those people who saw everyone who saw Thunderbolts is going to want to see Fantastic Four. Plus, the people who didn't see Thunderbolts are going to want to see Fantastic Four.
Right. Oh yeah, they might make the 156 in the opening weekend. Like it's a very which just. I mean, 156 domestically, which is what their worldwide total is for Thunderbolts on opening weekend. So I think that, absolutely. I like the way it ended, and I like that it poses a little bit of strife here between old buddy Sam and Bucky.
You would assume that they were going to be on the same page, but for some reason they're definitely not. So he was probably trying to stick up for the new Avengers, and Sam wasn't having it. So you got to have that scene.
This is 14 months later, so they've had all this time, and as you said, headlines are scoffing at this new Avengers team. And so again, they're going to have to all overcome people's expectations about them or judgment of them in order to prove themselves. So that's going to be interesting. Sam's got his Avengers team. Young Avengers is apparently coming. And don't forget about West Coast Avengers, right? There's the White Vision show that is coming. What is that show going? Vision Quest. What is that show going to do? Are they going to bring Hawkeye, who is part of the West Coast Avengers? Are they going to bring other people to be part of West Coast Avengers? So it might be 4 Avengers teams here that we could be looking at by the time we get to Secret Wars. So it's very
a lot to cover. That's a lot to cover in Doomsday. You don't really have much time to set that up. Like you just don't. I mean, you can't set that up in Ironheart. You can't set that up really. You didn't set up anything in Daredevil.
You might in Vision Quest, but we'll see.
You might, unless you have those other Avengers come. I don't know. It's like
Wonder Man is part of West Coast Avengers, and Wonder Man series is coming, and Wonder Man is already. They said his name, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, there on the chairs. So
it's going to be interesting to see how they play that, because I don't want to see them spend too much time on like who's the real Avengers storyline when it comes to like you got to set up Doom. Like you got to set up Doom. I want to see what they're going to do with him. So,
do you think he's going to be a big part of Doomsday, or do you think he's going to be? Okay.
I think he's going to have a quick scene at the end of Fantastic Four,
and then all of it is going to be.
But I don't think you're going to see Downey's face a lot. I think you're going to see it. I think in the first movie, in Doomsday, 15%. I think the majority of the time he's going to be in the mask, causing havoc. You want to make him intimidating? That's how you do it. You don't have him running around with the Stark face for the whole movie, because it's just going to be a thing. I think 15-20% of the movie, maybe you have the majority of the movie him running around in that mask.
Yeah, no, I know it's called Doomsday. I know people are like, well, of course you're gonna make a wrong. Yeah, I know, I get that. What I'm getting at is they've got so much to set
I
up.
know.
So how much are they going to spend setting up Doom, and how much are they going to spend setting up all these other people who are going to be lining up against?
Wouldn't you be pissed off if the movie's called Doomsday and you barely have a minute?
I wouldn't put it past Marvel.
It's like
I would not
minutes.
put it past Marvel.
It's not Doomsday, it's Doom's Minutes. There is one other story here
Mm.
that we'll get to, and that's where the hell is this story? It's somewhere. I got it. Is that it? Where the hell did it go?
Thunderbolts, writer.
Yeah, I'm looking for it, but it's like the actual article itself. I'm trying to find it. Hold on a second. I have it brought up, but it's not coming up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me just. Apparently, there's a whole scene with the post credit scene, and I saw that article there for a second, but now it's Gonski, and I'm curious what they were going to do with him.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. I have it. All right. Okay. Give me a second. It's just the whole thing running this way. All right. Here it is. So Thunderbolts writer reveals the scraps post-credit scene in and Baron Zemo's scrapped role in the actual movie itself. Okay. So here is the article. This is again from Comic Book Movie. Thunderbolts writer Eric Pearson has revealed scrap plans for a post-credit scenes featuring the return of Daniel Bruhl's Baron Zemo. In the comic book, Zemo assembles the Thunderbolts when the Avengers go missing. However, while his team is secretly a group of supervillains masquerading as heroes, they eventually decided to put their evil-doing ways behind them and become heroes. There have been other iterations of the group, but Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts is very much its own thing. That's evident from the absence of Zemo, the Captain America Civil War villain, who was brought more in line with his comic book counterpart in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It turns out that in an earlier draft of Thunderbolts, Zemo was going to be revealed as the one pulling the strings in a post-credit scene. Talking to Screen Rant, Eric Pearson explained how the villain once factored into the story. He said, I think there was a version of a tag written a long time ago, kind of revealing who's behind it all. It was revealed that Baron Zemo was pulling some strings from prison or whatever. I might just be inventing things now, but I feel like there might have been a version where Zemo had broken out, swapped places with someone, maybe Valentina's assistant, and he was working with a widow mask under. But I think those ideas lived for one iteration and then died. Sometimes people think that we're zigzagging on purpose, and it's like, no, we know that Zemo is very integral to a different story version of them. He's part of putting them together, and we negated the need for that with our own premise. But we always think back to the comics. There's always a discussion of, well, if there's a way to cleverly include Zemo in this, he absolutely should be there. But in this story that we wanted to tell and that we fell in love with, Yelena was central, and all these people find their way through her. And then we were introduced to Bob as well. So just didn't fit. We didn't want to just have a feathered fish. Had Mel been swapped out for a male assistant who Zemo was posing as, then yes, the Stinger could have quite easily revealed that he'd been pushing Val in certain directions to benefit his master plan. The question is, what would Zemo had been plotting, and when and where would his story have continued? The Thunderbolts established the team as the MCU's new Avengers, but there's nothing to say that these heroes will get their own movie beyond assembling in Doomsday next year. As for Zemo, it seems the door is still open for a story to continue, though he remains locked up in the raft, where he can potentially spend time getting to know another character who ties to the Thunderbolts, Red Hulk. I think this is probably, first of all, it doesn't seem like it was very, I shouldn't say real, but it was like, yeah, it was an idea that we had at one point, but then the story went somewhere else in the writer's room. And yes, you could have had him as the assistant. And I've been hesitating saying this, but I want to be honest. The assistant was my least favorite part of the movie. I don't think I didn't think she was great. I didn't think she was great. But she was originally supposed to be yes, which probably would have been better, but
yeah, but look how small the role was. I'm saying it was like, I'm not going to be that.
Well, I don't think that's why I think it was scheduling why she couldn't do it.
Come on, man. Come on. Stop it.
Fair. But anyway, irrelevant whether it was her or not, Mel or Zemo, you could have had that play into it, but then it kind of takes away how clever Valentina is. First of all,
I think it would have killed it. It would have killed it because
Yeah.
the thing, what we've both been talking about, Kristian, is just the best use of Valentina in an MCU film, and having a guy pulling her strings. I don't think it would have worked. It would have really undercut it, and there's no way JLD would have said yes to that. There's just no way, because Julia Louis-Dreyfus is very clear about the roles she wants to play now and the roles that she wants to portray on screen. And I think this is something that she would not have been a fan of for Valentina, because Valentina needs to be her own kind of separate type of villain. But if you have someone else pulling her strings, then it removes individuality and her own independent choices. And I think that's terrible to do to a character this late in the game, who's already been introduced multiple times, being in control of stuff. So yeah, I like that they didn't go with this. But Zemo, I know people in the comics comic fans want to see Zemo, but there's more story. Him and Red Hulk, that's an interesting team.
The question is like, what are they going to do and where does it go? Because we're going to read this article in a second. We still don't know where the MCU is going.
Yeah.
Like, after this. Are we going to see these characters ever again, or any of these Red Hulk or any of these people? Because it's going to be X-Men kind of heavy.
Yeah.
So we'll see that where that goes. But overall, I mean, the other someone that could have been, if you wanted to downplay Valentina, like and continue with something you set up and hasn't paid off, is Sharon Carter.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What, like, where did she go?
Yeah.
She had this big, huge reveal of how evil she was.
Yeah.
Where'd she go? In the same way that they're like, you remember her and Eternals? Well, try not to remember them. That's basically what Marvel's doing now. It's like, don't worry about that storyline. And Secret Invasion, nothing. That never happened. It didn't.
It's all a culling. A culling is coming. They're all going to be gone. Yeah.
Right. And that kind of takes us, before we get into the questions, that takes us to this article today on the Wall Street Journal. Let me give Jonathan a good wrap up here. Hold on a second.
Bring it on.
For the spoilers, everybody. For the spoilers. Put your thoughts in there. What do you guys think? Do you like this? Did you like the movie? What parts played in there? Put your thoughts in there. And as I always say, you can watch this on the replay. You can watch this on our Clips channel, which I hope you're doing right now. Subscribe to that Clips channel. Really important. I appreciate it. And that is that when it comes to spoilers. Now, getting into this article, there's an article on the Wall Street Journal, and says Disney wanted more from Marvel, now wants less. The head of Marvel Studios told colleagues recently that watching all the comic book giants' new TV shows and films had started to feel more like homework than entertainment. The problem, Kevin Feige acknowledged, is that in an effort to satisfy parent company Disney's, oh no, give me a break. Stupid thing. Is there?
I saw it coming. Oh,
come on, Luke! You sent me this thing. You didn't tell me I needed a.
Luke,
I need a freaking. Then do you have the article? Come on.
There's a Screen Rant sum of it that I can send you real quick on private. If you want to bring that up, okay.
Send me that. I don't know.
I don't know about your producers. Sometimes.
Awful. No, I mean Luke does 1,000 different things. He's the best. But that was the subscription service. I got 2 seconds in before I had to like.
I know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, when is he going to notice this?
Well, thanks for telling me. Thanks for setting me up for failure. Unbelievable. Did you send this? You just sent it?
Yeah, I just sent it. It's a Screen Rant.
All right. Let me Screen Rant did a breakdown of this article. Let me get into it. Here is said article from StreamYard. Thank you. From Screen Rant. Here we go. All right, I'm going to do this again.
All right.
There was an article on Wall Street Journal breaking down the things that were going on and how Disney essentially wants less Marvel than before, where they want too much.
Yeah.
So, new MCU report reveals that Kevin Feige has big plans for the X-Men at Marvel Studios. With the MCU working on its X-Men reboot, Marvel Studios is reportedly further along with its planning for the mutants in the franchise. As the MCU timeline is getting closer to wrapping up the multiverse saga, a new age of superhero ventures is on its way from Marvel Studios with the introduction of the X-Men characters. With the characters' rights finally coming back to Marvel, there will be an opportunity to finally have the X-Men and Avengers share the screen, which fans will be getting a taste of in Doomsday. In a report from the Wall Street Journal, more light has been shed on what is going on with the X-Men at Marvel, as a reboot movie is still in the works. According to the Wall Street Journal, which you need a subscription service for, you can't read the article, Kevin Feige has reportedly told multiple colleagues at Marvel Studios that he has a 10-year plan for the mutants in the MCU. At the time of this story's publication, Disney and Marvel Studios have yet to comment what this new report means for the X-Men. While the Wall Street Journal report doesn't specify more about the 10-year long plan for the X-Men in the MCU, there are still some things to take in perspective in terms of how big Feige is possibly planning at Marvel Studios with the mutants. Even though he is planning for a decade's worth of X-Men, fans have speculated for a long time that Phase 7 will be the beginning of a mutant saga. Does not mean that non-X-Men and mutants characters won't have a crucial place in the MCU going forward, as it will be about balancing it all. The timing of the MCU report is also interesting, as this is only coming a day after it was revealed that Deadpool X-Men movie from Ryan Reynolds at Marvel Studios is being explored, as the actor is currently writing a pitch that is yet to go to the higher-ups. With a separate X-Men movie reboot also in the works, Feige's plan may possibly include solo movies and TV shows for various mutants, which would definitely justify why he is looking at having a plan for 10 years in mind for the characters.
Okay.
Whether or not any of Feige's X-Men plans get revealed anytime soon or after the multiverse saga remains to be seen. They're just
So the other article I sent you, the slash film article, that's more in line with what I think you were wanting to focus on, the interconnected stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to, we can we pull that one up. And I can
I'll
talk
bring
about
that up. Yeah, but no, I'll bring this up real quick. It's right here. So there you go. All right. So Marvel's Kevin Feige knows exactly what went wrong with the MCU after Endgame. As part of the Wall Street Journal's assessment of the MCU recent woes, several sources close to Marvel Feige have revealed his take on what led to the franchise's loss of revenue and interest. The answer is a no-brainer, but it's also something we haven't exactly heard Disney and Marvel's top brass pass up to very often. According to the Wall Street Journal report, the Marvel Studios boss and mastermind thinks that a surplus of interconnected MCU shows and movies, which required viewers to tune in both at home and theaters with increasing frequency, are to blame for the property's downturn. The outlet points to Disney's hunger for content for Disney Plus as a primary reason the MCU started feeling like a chore. It also acknowledges that the overwhelming amount of titles to watch didn't just exhaust fans of the franchise, but also the folks who worked on the projects. Feige knows Marvel dropped too many interconnected shows. The strategy became just expansion. A former Marvel employee said of a post-Avengers Endgame meeting in which Disney's chief executive officer Bob Iger made the programming goals for Disney Plus known. Iger has admitted that the strategy didn't work, saying in 2023, not only did Marvel increase their movie output, but they ended up making a number of television series, and frankly, it diluted focus and attention. By 2024, Iger was telling shareholders that Marvel's Disney Plus slate would go down to probably about 2 TV series a year instead of what had become 4, and that Disney and Marvel would reduce our film output from maybe 4 a year to 2 or a maximum of 3. The strategy shift may have seemed slow for fans, many of whom had become worn out by Marvel since the days of Disney Plus, and it also came after Iger initially seemed keen to categorize Marvel's problems like the box office failure of the Marvels as a one-off misstep. For his part, sources close to Feige have said that he agreed to the initial plan because he was eager for the opportunities to tell Marvel stories that hadn't made the leap from the comic book page to the screen yet, adding that he wanted to be an excellent corporate citizen. The Journal also notes that the Marvel employees were well aware of what they called Marvel fatigue and wondered openly if they'd built a no new fans club by making newer MCU films and shows so heavily interconnected as to require prerequisite viewing. Staffers also recalled working on projects for weeks before being able to get time with Feige, who would sometimes then request change that couldn't be incorporated on a tight deadline. Piece said that Feige's annual Palm Springs MCU planning meeting in 2023 was somber, but it also notes that there's a new strategy for the MCU: fewer titles, multiple seasons, and less convoluted crossovers, with Feige devoting most of his time to the films. Okay, that's I think that's all stuff that we've been speculating for like a long time. The guy is wearing too many hats.
Yeah. And it's clear. And also, I think what's important about the report is you're getting this from people who worked at Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But none of them are saying we made terrible shit, so nobody watched it. They're all saying, well, we made them too interconnected and we made them too convoluted. And no, what happened was you made stuff that wasn't good, that people didn't want to watch. And so because they didn't watch, they got lost in the other stuff you were trying to tell because they weren't going to go back and watch it crappy stuff or not good stuff. And so That's what ended up happening here. I get it that there's a way to look at it. It's like, oh, we overwhelmed the audience, but this is an audience that can watch Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon or all these complex shows and figure out. I mean, they watch Sopranos. They're going like, who's under who and what family and what section of New York, New Jersey. Like, people are more intelligent than you give them credit for, but you got to make good stuff because that's how you keep them watching. I don't think it's about interconnected or homework or any of that nonsense. It's more a matter of you didn't make good content overall, and that's why people got lost in it and didn't want to watch it anymore.
I agree and I disagree at the same time.
Okay.
I agree that you need to make good stuff. I mean, there's that's the obvious. That's the obvious. You have to make good things in order to want to keep people coming back. I mean, you look at like because there's stuff with Thunderbolts, for example, like you have to really have to watch Black Widow in order to emotionally attach to Yelena and other people. So I think that kind of proves two things there, right? It's like people wanted to see it, you go in to see it, and you like the movie. But you do kind of have to see it. It is interconnected, but it's easier to interconnect the movies in general. When you put all of these different things, I think that one line about it's almost like creating this club and they're not bringing any new members in.
No new fan club.
Yeah, that's what they said. And I think that's because the interconnected things, like it's just too much. It's like, what do I have to do? I need to watch this. I have to watch, like, even when I'm like watching this stuff with Sam right now, to which people are wondering, she's coming back. She literally is coming in today to film. We're filming Shang-Chi today. But like I'm thinking like, okay, what does she need to watch in order to not be lost when you go into these things? And it's like a lot. You got to watch a lot of these things in order to not be lost. And it is a lot to ask people to do because then if you work like and Feige was trying to, even when I always bring this point up, I'll never forget it. When I was sitting there with Winston, we're watching Doctor Strange 2. And Feige goes, they ask him, they go, oh, do you need to watch WandaVision? He's like, nah, you don't need to watch that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? You have to watch WandaVision. He doesn't want to say that because he doesn't want people to go like, oh, I got to watch another show. I don't want to see that movie. I understand why he did it, but it wasn't the truth. Like you have to, you'd be lost on the emotional like breakdown of what Wanda was going through. And why that is, and why she even got to that place with the Darkhold and all that shit. If you didn't watch that show, and it would be nice that the writers of Doctor Strange 2 watch that show too. But 100%. And either way, you understand. I think it makes sense, which kind of gets us into the X-Men side of it. But one thing that made me go, oh no, be careful. Just focus on the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Just focus on them. Don't start. Well, it doesn't mean or Avengers movies. Okay, great. You want to intertwine Avengers versus X-Men and do that. Don't start. You're going to get yourself into the same place. Focus on the X-Men movies for the next 10 years. Focus on X-Men TV shows. Focus on the first thing you do is an X-Men movie.
You're dreaming.
I know. It's not that I'm dreaming. I'm just trying. But please don't. You don't need to do this. You've got enough characters. You have so much in that X-Men world, Fantastic Four world, and Avengers world. You don't need to do all these side characters and then nobodies who are like, oh, look what I'm going to try to do now. It's like you just said that. I understand he's a comic book fan. He wants to bring that geekiness out and go, look at this. This thing's cool too. It's like, yeah, but the X-Men are pretty damn cool. There's characters you haven't told and there's stories you haven't told and you can explore in places you've never done before. I hope that's really where I hope the future is X-Men. I really do.
Well, it's going to be mutants, that's for sure. And that's certainly the focus, I think. And Feige always loves telling you he's got a 10-year plan. He said the same thing at CinemaCon a few years ago. I got a 10-year plan. I always got a 10-year plan. I got writers working on the 10-year plan. 10-year plans are great. I love it. Stop talking about it. Like, just focus on doing the next thing well. That's what you need to be focusing on. I don't care about a 10-year, 20-year, 15-year plan. I care about now at this point, after all these years, 17 years of Marvel movies, and TV shows, I care about you getting the next one right. And then connect, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next.
This May.
What happened in May? May?
So to me, that's the focus that has to be on this, because 10-year plans don't make me feel good anymore. I've seen people tell me they got 7 Power Rangers movies. I've seen, Star Wars tell me they got all these movies coming and cancel them one by one. So I think it's very much focused on, look, what's the next good movie, and focus on making that. And it'll be mutants, and it'll be mutants in various ways, but it won't just be X-Men stuff for sure. Because they can't put all their eggs in one basket for 10 years, Kristian. Because if they keep messing it up, then they have no baskets.
Dude, but there's so many characters inside of that.
Sure.
Like so many different mutants and so many different things. I mean, you can make a $60 to $80 million Magneto movie. You could do a,
Sure.
you could do the because he's got enough in the pop culture world. People know who he is. He could do his
So
own.
are you going to ignore Spider-Man for 10 years?
Not necessarily. I mean, like, look, if you have, I'm talking about if you have huge all stars and you have like, but there's not. And Winston and Coy and I have this conversation all the time. With like right now, there are no all stars in the MCU. All stars. There's good players, but if you look at the sports world, there's no all stars the way that there was before. I think that Yelena's got an opportunity to be an all star. Right. I think she's got an opportunity depending on what happens now in this one. But there's no all stars. Spider-Man's an all star. He's the old all-star, right? But like he's an all-star. So yeah, if you've any all-star movies you can do 100%.
So Thor,
if you can, of course, if you can get them back to do it. But the question is also, how does it play into what's going to happen in Doomsday and Secret Wars?
Right.
Like that's what we
connect.
It's just too hard to say now because we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, you're going to have Fantastic Four and X-Men. So if you focus on those two brands, then Spider-Man, because Spider-Man 4 is apparently coming. So you're going to have those swinging into, because I don't think it'll be Tom Holland once you get out of maybe one more after Secret Wars of Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but then they've got to transition to either Miles or another Spider-Man actor. So those we see there. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think there's more coming. And you're right. And Black Panther, what are you going to do with Black Panther? There's a Black Panther 3 that's coming, right? With Denzel rumored to be a part of it. So you've got that in here.
Right.
So there is going to be enough stuff to balance out the mutant stuff. But I hear you. And I like that they're slowing down. And because hopefully that means more quality.
I hope so. I really do hope so. Like maybe in between the X-Men movies, they throw something else in there. Like, so it's like every 2 years you get an X-Men movie. And then, in between Spider-Man or something else too. That's how you can do it. But your TV shows, like, stop going with the obscure ones that nobody knows. Give me some big, like an X-Men TV show. That'd be great.
Yeah, like a New Mutants series.
Like something where you're going to build it and then you introduce those people into the movies and but give it a little bit more of a if you look at things like Daredevil and Andor, that's the kind of television I like.
Yeah.
I like things where it's not just joke fest USA. It's why I like Thunderbolts so much. It actually was like a serious tone to it. There was jokes, but there was like a serious tone to it, and the characters were real, and it wasn't, as I always take shots, and rightfully so, there wasn't a stupid singing planet. So there you go. What do you guys make of all this? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think that they should do 10 years on the X-Men? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let's hear it. All right, we're going to get to your questions now. You got questions, and so John's trying to set the week. Starting out with 38. It's pretty good. Pretty good going into the question round. But before we do it, John, what's going on in the channel, man?
Hey, it's the Outlaw Nation channel. Come on over and hang out with us. Subscribe to the channel. We just did a spoiler review for the Thunderbolts last night. Mike Vogel, and Shannon McClung, the Geek Buddies, breaking it all down. Spill the Tequila is back every Tuesdays at 4 p.m. PT with me and Winston A. Marshall. The Hot Mic on Thursdays, the Jedi Way as well. We just did with Frank Janish joining me and Kevin to break down the most recent 3 episodes of Andor. Looking forward to these next 3 episodes of Andor. We'll be reviewing those as well on Geek Buddies. And there's a possibility about a second show with me and a certain madman that may be coming very soon on the Outlaw Nation as well. So subscribe there over wherever you get on YouTube there. Just look up the Outlaw Nation, youtube.com/John Roca Says. Let's do it.
You heard it. Dagnino and Roca doing
it. Yes.
All right, let's get to this first question. Shay coming in hot. Recasting Sebastian Stan as Luke in Star Wars is popular. That's been going on for 8 years at least. I mean, I was doing Jedi Council when that started popping up. So it would be great. They'll never do it though. For some reason, they're scared. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't want to use Luke anymore, which I think if they're going to do a Thrawn trilogy and they don't have Luke, it's the best thing in the world. But we'll see. All right, next one is Mike's Movie Madness. Glad I saw this yesterday because every outlet is spoiling the reveal on IG. Yeah, I mean that's another thing too. Is that maybe people are going to be excited.
Yeah,
that people are seeing it soon before that reveal. But I'm so curious to see what effect it has, John. I really am.
Yeah. But how can you even track it? Like, how can we be sure that it's going to be
percentage drop? It's not a guarantee, right? But a percentage drop. If you can factor it in, you can you can guesstimate and say, you know what, I feel or speculate rather. I feel that one of the reasons that this movie only had a 15% drop is because we changed the name.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't have, then it would have been 30%. You're like, well, okay, maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but you can certainly say maybe it was a good idea, you know. Zlovlianoni SS. No way I said that right. Became a member. Thank you so much. I've tried to get your name right. Thank you. It was very kind. Matt Sinister Macau. Roca, a man with hooks is trying to kill you. That's hilarious. I'll explain. Percentage of subs. Do you think no movie's better than you? I can relate to Bob's character too much. A percentage of your subs do you think no movie's better than you do?
I couldn't possibly speculate.
Yeah. But we were Tina and I were watching Final Destination 2, which I've never seen before, and we're putting out the third one today, the reaction. And there's some hilarious shit going on in that movie.
Yeah.
There's one scene. Do you remember the movie fairly well?
Is that the one with the elevator, or is that a different one? Yes. That's the one with I love that movie.
It's absolutely hilarious. They see she's like, I see something with hooks, whatever, a man with hooks. And then the cop calls, he goes, be careful, a man with hooks is going to kill you. But it's hilarious. It's so good. Tim R. Lots of the press tour talk on post-credit scene. How much does that boost Fantastic Four's box office? Also, I think Walker should keep the taco shield in. Hilarious. I don't know how much it's going to affect it. I think that people who wanted to see it are going to be more excited to see it and say, okay, this actually plays into it. So
yeah.
What do you think? You think it's going to be
a small number of people who were excited for Thunderbolts, but not excited for Fantastic Four. That's a very small number. So you've kind of cleared that up by showing that the Thunderbolts will be connected to Fantastic Four's appearance.
Right.
So yeah, you got them now in the theater.
All right. Next one here. Ryan S. Harloff's burnt asshole can be found on YouTube of the Holy Critics watch along a Point of Origin 2002, paying homage to my profile picture. That's hilarious. You look at that picture. I've been telling people this story, and I'll tell you again. Yeah. Because this guy is going to be Ryan S. is going to be the new hero of the channel for now. So Point of Origin, I was in this Ray Liotta movie twice, John, and it was glorified extra work twice. The first time I ordered a rum and Coke, which that clip I have, and I'll show you which is hilarious. And
thanks, we'll get their money. We need it.
Your wife is here, John.
Beautiful. Oh. So there's that. And then I said, well, and because I was I did not get my SAG card on this movie. I got it on a different movie, but on this one, I was trying for it. So they said, we'll give you a second day. And I was like, okay, but they said you have to be a burn victim. I was like, okay. I said, but I want people to know it's me, right? So at the time, as you would imagine, I was very much so into wrestling. I was coming off of working at
right.
I was like, how are they gonna, because I'm all bandaged up and everything too. And I was like, how are they gonna notice me? So I put my hands towards a suck it motion. So they actually have this guy who's reacting to it. You're gonna
nice.
Actually, here you're gonna see this in just a moment here. This is John Leguizamo who's in this now.
Cliff Curtis, nice.
Yeah. So you'll wait. I'll show you in just a second when it transitions past this guy. God bless this guy. There you go. Watch.
Oh,
look. I positioned my hands that way so everyone knew it was me, and that's the second march. They did not tell me to put my hands there. They had told me to put it to the side, and I put it up just like that right when the camera started shooting.
That's amazing. Oh my god.
I absolutely love that somebody found that, and the fact that guy watched that is absolutely amazing. Why was he doing a reaction to Point of Origin? Out of all the movies you're going to react to it, thank God that he did. You found that scene.
Yeah,
hilarious. Renetta W. Hi, I'm Renetta. Hey. Thunderbolts was excellent. I love the post credit. I love the Marvel logo and how it faded into the void. Crossing my fingers for Fantastic Four. You and me both. My interest is peaked. I saw Sinners 5 times. Holy moly! Taking my mom and her friends to the weekend to see it. Yeah. So I'm taking that you liked it.
Yeah, I got into it today with my friend Ryan Satin about Sinners.
Oh, he didn't like it?
No. One of the female wrestlers posted on her Instagram story, and she said, waste of my time.
Oh, I saw that.
With a
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
of that. So I retweeted it and said, that's funny. It's how a lot of people describe your wrestling matches. And Ryan was like, why would you take personal shots at her? And I was like, I'm not. I'm criticizing her art just like she's criticizing Ryan's art. And I think that's totally fair. So we went back and forth on Twitter, and then he texted me and we went back and forth. We resolved it. We had a really good conversation, but it was a fun little
you are the two of the worst people to go after each other on Twitter.
That's why we were a great show. That's why we were a great show when we did it.
Oh, they're both terrible on Twitter. Al Rensha, I think they did Sentry a little dirty. Really? He got defeated by a group hug, and at the end he was like, I can't turn Sentry to the other guy. Smart Hulk. I love what they did with him.
That's how it is in the comics.
Yeah, because the essential, he's the essential. His version of Sentry is just anger and sadness.
Yeah, I don't. What did you want them to do? Defeat him physically? I mean, don't you think that would have sent him into a deeper depression that he couldn't even beat these guys? Like, it would have been worse. All the power in the world, and he still can't win.
No. Okay. Renee Reyes, after the last 2 episodes of The Last of Us, I'm not sure if Ellie and Dean are going to be able to carry the show now that Pedro's gone. Story beats Steam off. Interested in Isaac's story, though. Same. I'm not going to give any spoilers. What I said, this is like my reaction. Definitely, it was like 50-50 people who wanted to reach through the screen and choke me out, and other people who were on my side. This is all I'm saying about this particular thing that happens. There's a moment in the show that they were leading to, and I understand it. It makes sense. It should happen. It's the position of when it happens in this show that made me go, what? What? Especially after what was just revealed. Why wouldn't you focus on that? Why are you focusing on that? And then I said, "Does that how it happens in the game?" You're like, no. People are telling me it actually happens in the game way before that, and the writing and the structure is better. I was like, well, that's what they should have done. I loved 75 to 80% of this episode.
Okay.
And I thought the rest of it was lazy writing, which is interesting. Because I think the show is usually pretty good writing, but there are a couple things, and some dummy on the comment section. I was like, because there's the character of Dina is like staring a lot, right? Like if somebody comes out and somebody does something, she just stands there and she's like starts staring. I'm like, what the hell are you staring at? Get the hell out of there, right? I wasn't criticizing the actors. Like, what do you want them to do? They're actors. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm not talking about the actor. I'm talking about the character. The character choice of someone who has been around this world long enough shouldn't be like, oh, that person eats people. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And like that's what I was saying. And so like, oh, you're criticizing the actors for just being actors. No, I'm talking about the character. Stop staring at shit and run. It's a difference. And I actually like that scene. No. Renee Reyes.
Hey.
After the last 2 episodes of Last of Us. Oh, we did that one already. Whatever. This is one we when I don't like what people are saying now, John.
Yeah. There you go. Suck it. That's right. Perfect. 2 words for you.
And I love that this guy makes it in the whole time. It's just like it's disapproving. Like he just can't believe I'm doing that. Look at this.
Is he reacting to the whole movie? Aren't you supposed to like
watching the whole movie?
You do it in 6
Oh, he was split. Yeah, he definitely split up, and thank God he did, because there's somebody that is before me.
Yeah.
There's another victim right before me. He cut that guy out. I don't think he knew it was me.
Oh wow, interesting.
I love it.
I like the way he's reacting to it with himself in the corner.
It's hilarious. Somebody send this to him that we're talking about it. Al Rensha, explain the void to me. If Bob can get control, then everyone that got flattened is back.
Yes.
No consequences and people okay. Not so powerful to me. Well, it's powerful. You don't control it.
Al, come here. I'm going to bring you back to your darkest, deepest secret.
Right.
And I'm going to make you relive it over and over and over again.
Right.
And then you tell me if that power is useless or not so powerful.
Right. Because you still got to go back to the real world carrying all that shit.
Right. When you're in a drooling mess sitting in your underwear for 3 weeks in the corner of your bedroom crying over that memory because it's so visceral every second of every day, that's worse than beating your ass. Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
Armada, announcing the rest of the long cast list for Doomsday reminds me when Kristian did his Mark Ellis impression saying how many people are going to have a comedy set. We are going to get everyone on stage. Yeah.
You mean the 1 a.m. slot at the Comedy Store?
Well, no, because Mark was like is to this day the most generous human being in the world.
100%.
And he would it's like he would give everyone a set. And it's like, dude, like I'll never forget. It's like he was doing a set. It was like he was supposed to do like half an hour, but so many people he went up doing like 10 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like now the doorman's getting a set, and then now the guy down the street, the guy from the food truck's getting a set, and then that guy's getting a set, and it's like because Mark's just the most generous human being in the world. but yeah, it's the same thing. There's so many people on the Doomsday on the cast list. We'll wonder. We'll see how many of them they actually do. We'll see.
Yeah.
Carlton Rudder, London calling. What's up, man? Thunderbolts was superb. I just got Sinners, also fantastic. Roll on Mission Impossible and Karate Kid. Yeah, I'm going to see Mission Impossible next Monday. You?
Oh, you lucky bastard. I haven't gotten the invite yet.
Okay. So I'm going on Monday. Not this Monday. I was saying next Monday. And the problem is I wanted to see the Final Destination 6 or whatever it is, but the screening is on the same day. So I'm as much as I'm been enjoying Final Destination watching them, I ain't choosing that over Mission Impossible.
Of course not.
So I'm probably going to just wait, and then I'll do that reaction with Tina when the new one comes out.
Oh wow.
Makes more sense. We'll just have to wait. Corn Emperor.
Hey.
John never gets to win as he sets the tone. He does set the tone. There's no doubt about it. But you guys are responsible for getting him to win. You get to a place where it's just unreachable.
Yeah.
For the rest, because Roxy right now is on a tear.
I'm just not, as well liked as other people. That's how it is.
That's not true. San Jinx Nam. Can adapting Shala Surfer negatively impact Fantastic Four? But I thought that
female surfer, right?
Yeah, but I thought I thought they're doing both of them.
No, it's only doing her. I think they're only.
Are you sure they're not bringing in the other one too?
We haven't heard anything about them bringing in Norrin Rand. So I don't know if they're going to bring him in. So
I think that they should.
It may be a roundabout way where she's the first person, then he comes in after.
I think that they should. I think they should do it both. That way, you shut people up and you go, "Hey, we did two of them. Be quiet." Geek Lodestars. Now that we have new Avengers, will Sam make a West Coast Avengers with Shang-Chi and other characters on that side of the country? That's what John was alluding to. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be Sam. It won't be Sam making West Coast Avengers. Sam will do East Coast Avengers. Trust me on that. It's going to be Vision or whoever's involved with Vision, like Hawkeye and Wonder Man. They'll be making West Coast Avengers.
So curious. King of the Wicker People. Who is Sam's Avengers? If he is suing them for copywriting, that's hilarious that he's suing them for copyright. My guess is Sam, Rhodey. I think Rhodey's out. Rhodey's
Rhodey's the Tony person, right?
Yeah. Well, him and Sam were close. We still, but then the problem is you got to get into that whole Skrulls situation with Rhodey.
Right.
And so Thor, potentially, She-Hulk is possible.
Sure.
Captain Marvel, Shuri, and Ant-Man. Ant-Man, I think, is if I'm going to the bank, if I'm going to bet in Vegas, I'm betting on Ant-Man. That's my first bet.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man's in, but people keep putting Captain Marvel in these. Captain Marvel's not going to take orders from Sam Wilson. Okay, let's put that on the effing table. She was taking orders, barely taking orders from Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. She's not going to take orders from Sam.
Right.
Shield or not. So
Sean McCabe, hey, Red Guardian has an awesome beard, right, Roka?
He does. He carries the beard well. He does.
Don't shave his beard.
So do you, Sean. I'm just giving you shit, not shaving it.
J-Man24. I've been a fan of both of you guys since AMC Collider days. Just want to say thank you for all the content. You all have been a big part of my day today. Thank you, J-Man. That's very kind.
Why can't we get more of those?
We do.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. I'm telling you. But that's the problem is that they're just loud.
That's what it is.
There's a lot of positivity in this comment section daily. There really
we work hard. We work hard.
But everybody, I mean, look, the conversation in general in here is normally pretty nice. We have a good comment section.
Yeah, because they kiss your butt. They come after
That's
me.
not true.
Come on.
People give me shit all the time. But what I love, though, this is the thing, though. This is what I continue to do, and I have no problem doing this.
Yes.
I always look at my channel like a store. And and when people walk into my store, and if you say, like, hey, I don't like these chips that you have, because the reason why you don't have these chips, I prefer if you can change this up a little bit and do this.
I agree.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You fucking asshole. You've got this. You're a douche. Get out of my store. You're never coming back, and I'm going to throw you out. If somebody there were people in the Last of Us reaction. There were people who go, the fact that you're talking over this, I'm not a fan of it because I would have rather you done this. I'll let those people be. They were voicing their concern. There's other people going, this guy's annoying, but you're never coming back here. I'm throwing you out by the seat of your pants. Free speech. It's not free speech. This is my place. It's my place. You can say whatever. Free speech is you can go on Twitter and go wherever you want and say whatever you want. Free speech is you have to be a civilized person.
Yeah. I get that all the time because I'm more abrasive than you are at times. And people are like, you just can't handle someone having a different opinion. I actually can if you're presenting it in a way that's intelligent, logical. If you're coming in with anger and toxicity and vitriol, why would I waste my time with you? Who the fuck are you?
I don't need you.
Yeah.
Hank Pym. Yeet. Yo, Roka, this Liv Mark really thought Liv would land a major movie role. How dare you? He was drinking that TKO Kool-Aid like it was trade coffee. Stop this. All I said was,
Oh, don't even.
What? Let me finish. It's still a starring role.
Bullshit. It's a starring role. Lily James is the starring role. The main Asian actor who's going to play the detective is a starring role.
No, she's the detective.
She is the daughter of the congressman, and she's been kidnapped. Okay,
Oscar-winning Liv Morgan. Oscar-winning Liv Morgan.
Please.
King
So many people bought into that nonsense.
By the way, and I stand by what I say. By the way, I looked at I was watching Raw the other day, which wasn't so much better than SmackDown. SmackDown is so dull.
That's weird. It used to be the premier show for a long time.
God, it's so boring. But Raw is good. I was watching it, and like I said, I stand by it. Becky Lynch is a great performer in wrestling. She is so over the top. She is not a better actor than Liv Morgan. She's a better wrestling, better wrestling performer, 100%, better superstar. I get it. But as far as acting, character, Liv is much better.
I don't disagree with you, and we've lived long enough to see Becky go from Rebel to John Cena. She is now the John Cena that people are quietly starting to not like or hate. So much so that she did a video. She did a video recently, like the last couple of days. She put up on her social media, pushing back on people calling her Becky Hogan because they're calling her that she's like working they're calling her Becky Hulk Hogan, who's working the politics backstage to focus on herself. Yeah,
wow,
it's a big deal.
King follows it up. He says, part 2. It would have been cool to see them go through the void alone, finding and helping each other emotion one by one. When then they get to the final room, they are on a team on an emotional level. Oh wait, sorry, I missed part 1. Sorry.
Okay.
Part 1. My major gripe with the Thunderbolts is that we don't see anyone other than Yelena go through the void to face their trauma.
It's true.
And it would have been cool to see them go through the void alone, finding and helping each other one by one. Then when they get to the final room as a team, they're on an emotional level. I agree. I just think the problem is the movie would have been too long, but I don't disagree with that.
Would have been 2.5 hours. Yeah, but I agree with that. That's a great point, and I agree with that criticism too.
It's really good criticism. Okay, so next one here. This is Johnny Venerable. Kristian Roka, where does tomorrow's Andor arc rank among the best of Star Wars TV episodes? Better than Luke on Mando, Boba Fett's return? As an overall show, I think it's the best. As an overall show all the way through. As the moment in general, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat that Luke moment. I mean, come on, that's a major water cooler moment all the way around. But good, like television wise, it's the best. These are the best 3 episodes of Star Wars television, hands down.
Yeah, I tweeted it out and posted it on social media when I was watching it that day, when I was watching all 12 in one day. And I said, this is a certain episode and is the greatest episode of Star Wars television I've ever seen. And I would say it's better than the Luke Mando thing, not because the Luke Mando thing was an amazing moment. Moment.
Yeah.
But the way they're building to the Gorman massacre, it is incredible. And the payoff is beyond what you would expect to see in a Star Wars show. And they pull no punches. And there are still, and even within it, there's some shocks and twists and turns.
There's crazy stuff that happens. Cool Cash CG. How crazy is it that Ironheart drops next month? That's what John was saying. Like, it's like there's been really no big promotion on that whatsoever.
0.
That was one of the moments, though. Like I said, I think when I saw Black Panther 2, I was like, oh, look, I love Ryan Coogler. Like, I clearly, from everything with Sinners, he's one of my favorite directors right now. That placing Riri in that movie seemed like they were going, hey, you want to watch this new TV show? And it's like, not really. I haven't responded to the character. No, not for me, but there's other people who want to see it. But I will say the trailer that they showed at D23 like 2 years ago looks pretty good. So maybe it turns out to be a good show. I don't know. Yeah. Buster Barnes.
Hey.
Is it not a slightly concerning sign for comic book movies if Thunderbolts makes less than Brave New World, considering the different in general reviews? No, because here's the difference. People in just the average moviegoer. If I say to someone, "Hey, you ever heard of the Thunderbolts?" Nope. You ever heard of Captain America? Yeah. It's got a name. That's why we're making that point with the Avengers thing and seeing how that does.
It's completely different name recognition, and you're 100% right. So not all comic book movies are the same, nor do they have the same parameters and X factors and context. So everything is different. So Thunderbolts is actually doing well for the kind of movie it is for right now. It won't hit the Marvel heights that we've seen before. Captain America 4 underperformed from the Captain America movies we've seen in the past, and the feeling people had walking out of Captain America movies from the past. So each one comes out in its own different context, and that's how you have to look at it.
Yep. Fascia Bruta. Entire cast of Thunderbolts brought their A game. Agreed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crystal 2.0. Bob's my new favorite thing in the MCU. He was great. I was supposed to, like I said, I had the interview set up for last week. Then we were supposed to do it today after this show, and then they pushed it back to tomorrow. So we'll see if it happens.
Lewis, come on, Lewis.
It's not him. He's been busy. They're trying. They're working hard to try to make it.
I think they were like planning on the fact that maybe it wouldn't have done as well, but now that it has, there's more requests.
Maybe
so they have got to fill them. Yeah.
No, they've been very kind with how they've handled it. Lord Mung saw Thunderbolts in 3D. Fantastic Four looked amazing. Are you 3D fans? When it's done well, yes. And if it's not the big clunky ones, they don't really do the big clunky ones as much anymore. Ones. Really good 3D is, yes, I am a fan of, but when it's just converted nonsense, no.
Depending on how my schedule plays out tomorrow, my plan is to go see it in 3D.
I didn't even know it was offering
Regal. Yeah. The IMAX 3D.
Okay. Edward Collins II. So when the movie comes to digital and Blu-ray will the title still be Thunderbolts? Fantastic question.
Great question.
Oh no, probably not.
I don't think so.
I think at that point you'd be stupid to do that. I think you have to, if you want to sell the Blu-rays and everything else, and you want to get people to watch it, then you absolutely release it as New Avengers.
Once you rebrand, you rebrand.
Yes.
Why would you go back to the old brand? Doesn't make sense.
Jake S. Defeating the Void with a group hug was brilliant. Agreed.
Yeah,
I loved it. Fred Fajardo. Honestly worried for Doomsday and Secret Wars. How come, Fred? Is it just because you don't think there's enough build up to it? Why are you worried about it? Yeah. I'm kind of getting hopeful about it, to be honest. Especially after that post credit scene.
Yeah.
Matt Sinister McCall. Worst social media interaction that went too far ever? Who knows? There's got to be infinite versions of it.
Yeah, I can't even think of one that.
I don't know. Yeah, I try to stay away from all that shit. I don't know. Michael Baldwin. Haley's star is shining because of Sinners. Agreed. Will her people demand that she be on the main Avengers? Florence is on another level. She has to be the leader of the main team. Well, go ahead, Joe.
I've been saying this for a while. This idea that you're trying to sell me Iman Vellani as the one who puts the Young Avengers together is ridiculous. Like, Haley Steinfeld is the much more in-demand actress. She is the much more experienced actress, and dare I say, the better actress. And so, to me, I think you gotta lead with her. She's been wowing us since True Grit. So that's a long time ago. So you have more audience investment in her than you have Iman Vellani. So to me, that's the smarter move, especially now after Sinners. It's her that you want to be putting the team together. And I think that's where you have to go with making the pivots with the Young Avengers.
Well, yes, that would be I think the smart way to do it as far as star power goes. But as far as her people demanding, that deal's already done. So they're not going to be able to demand shit right now because that deal's already done. But if the powers that be were and the Russos are writing, you would want to lead with Haley Steinfeld for sure. Steinfeld. Fascia Ruth. I love Thunderbolts. I'm seeing it in PLF again. People are that's another thing we haven't talked about. Repeat viewing.
Yeah. Just like Sinners. Sinners is surviving because of repeat viewing.
Yeah.
Like we just had Renetta say five times.
Yeah. Ed. Hey guys. We saw the F4 rocket. They're coming out to our alt universe from theirs and the end of the film. Or in the Fantastic Four trailer, Reed says he tested and it broke off. But we see the rocket. I mean, who knows? It's going to end with them coming to our universe, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. Ryan Fennelly waiting for Mando's Scorpion to appear in Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means. Which Mando's Scorpion? Mando.
I mean, there is a Scorpion in the Spider-Man movie.
Not sure what you meant there, Ryan. Bounds of Space and something responded. Maybe that's a misdirect and it wasn't how Galacticus found them, but it actually Fury making contact. Yeah, is Fury going to be the one who's calling them back again? Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Michael made an excellent point last night. Where he's like, there's no guarantee that Galactus there's no guarantee that Doctor Doom is in the same universe as this Fantastic Four.
Right.
It could be a Doctor Doom from another universe and this Fantastic Four universe. So you bring in Galactus. Right. What's the situation there with Fantastic Four and Galactus?
That's true. He could have killed the Fantastic Four in his universe.
Right.
That's a good call. Katie O'Hara, as I told John last night, need more of Bob's abs. Sam's only opportunity for a posit in this film. Hilarious. Yeah. She's going to have a lot of posit moments coming up pretty soon. For a lot of
does she do it? Does she do a pause and
that was her whole shtick was that when we were watching one of the I forget it might have been Thor, and she goes, pause it. It actually originated in Deadpool and Wolverine. She said pause it. So that's
those guys are in fantastic
that's
shape.
thing. There's been a lot of posit, and I've gotten my posit moments in there now too. Let's see. We're gonna go now to. We got some more. Oh, nice. And this is Met Bull. What's up, James? What percent of the Marvel and Star Wars audience from 2015 are gone permanently? Great question. Ooh. My friends were all Star Wars comic people, and maybe 1 out of 10 are still watching. It's a great question. Star Wars has an opportunity, though, because of what we talked about. Star Wars has an opportunity to get a lot of people back. Now, will they? I don't know, but they do because they don't have as much shit as Marvel did, and because there's just too much of it that you feel people could get lost in it. So I would say that there's probably more because Marvel probably had the bigger audience too. I still think that they have the more interest, but I also think probably lost more people.
Yes, I would agree with that. And yeah, they have lost people. It's just the way it is, and they might not ever get them back. To be honest with you, and they might have to adjust their expectations.
Yeah, they got to keep putting out good shit. And the question is, you're going to see from Avengers and Doomsday. Because this is their opportunity to also set up the new X-Men to get people, you know what I mean? Like get them really locked in. So it's going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Next one. I'm waiting to see where
you might not be able to get the old audience back, but you might get a new audience back.
Right.
Time moves on. Generations come
through. X-Men. Yeah, especially with the X-Men. Okay. Nathan Drake. But is animation really for everyone? Stop it, Nathan. Stop it. Christian Medard. Marvel did the first blackface. What did he did? I like the way Void looked with creepy eyes and see it. Well, I don't know. I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's not blackface.
Yeah, no, there would have been a lot of more. There would have been articles everywhere. The Cali Kid MCU crushed with Deadpool and Wolverine and Thunderbolts. Even Cap Force, some cool stuff. Wyatt Russell and David Harbour are highlights in the Thunderbolts. I agree with all that.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I think it just Captain America was just kind of
I think there's some cool action sequences in Captain America and some interesting ideas. It just doesn't hold together as strongly as it should have.
Right. Armada. I think it would make MCU less convoluted after Secret Wars if the new X-Men and Fantastic Four starts in another universe while still having the 616 universe ongoing. As long as they don't even like blend into each other.
Right.
The multiverse stuff has to end after this. Like no more multiverse stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably I think he's going to pare it down to a main timeline.
Yeah, just Dunsky.
Yeah, we might be going to the TVA too, I imagine.
I think so. Julius Wyatt, Bob and Yelena's relationship was great. I wonder what's next. Yeah, I think that she's probably going to be able to control him a little bit. I hope, or help him rather than control him in the next.
Yeah. I hope it's not a love relationship. I kind of like the fact that they're individuals in their own way, and I wonder if it's going to be like more of a brother-sister relationship, which I think
would prefer that too. I'd prefer that too. Buster Barnes. So after they defeated the Void, did the people in the helicopter spawn in the now destroyed helicopter or spawn into the sky and floated to death? It's a great question. I don't think that they thought that far ahead, but that's a great question. In the same way that like when people snap back from the Thanos thing, there's probably tons of crashes and shit that went down. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know where they snap back to. You're right.
Yeah, it's a great call. Craig Hoffman, Avengers Assemble animated series on Disney Plus is a great telling of the Thunderbolts that was ripped straight from the comics. Oh, really?
Cool.
Oh, that is interesting. I didn't know it. Al Rencha, due to Roga's response to my question, #support for Roxy. What was the question that he asked?
I don't remember. we answered so many.
He's going to bring in some. He's going to bring in
probably Al complaining about the undercutting of the power of Sentry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Elusive Rock. I hope we get Doom's origin via the Void. Also, I'm pretty sure Keith Stanfield is playing the main MCU Surfer. That'd be cool.
We'll see. That's the rumor, but you're not. How can you be pretty sure, Elusive, unless you know someone who's making the movie? How can you be pretty sure?
Ryan Fennelly began watching Jedi Council when I was 13. Now I'm now 22. Oh my god. Never forget the rush when my question was answered on the show. That's so cool. What do you expect from Filoni's Star Wars movie if it ever happens? Lots of cartoon writing.
Do you have the same buzz now that Christian's reading your question at 22? Do you have
no, probably not. No, he doesn't care anymore. But I will say that there's probably, I mean, I think that what I would hope on the positive side of things, Ryan, I hope that it would be, I actually hope that he would have the balls to actually do the Thrawn trilogy. And like the rumor that they said they were going to do, like the Heir of the Empire, and actually have Luke and stuff in it, fight back against Kathleen Kennedy a little bit, and actually use that storyline. But he won't.
Damn, I like that idea.
Yeah, he won't. Nathan Drake. I wonder if they go into where all the New York heroes were during the Void attack, or just act like it didn't happen. Like, where was Spider-Man? Where was Spider-Man during Daredevil?
Yeah, I mean, this has been the complaints for decades. In the comics, they're like, well, why didn't this person show up? They're in New York. And it's like,
yeah,
come on, guys, just deal with what's there.
I know, but still. Motorola, what's up, Joey? Fun little Easter egg if true. Girl that got voided in front of the Guardian is the daughter of the woman who got saved by Cap in the first Avengers film. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't even know that that's true. If true, it says fun little Easter egg. If true, yeah.
Oh, that is fun.
People are probably speculating about that.
Yeah. Darren Leslie Jr. If Sam is suing Little Petty, he'll need a lawyer. I hope that She-Hulk's way into
that's a great
call. Or Matt Murdock.
Or Matt Murdock. Right.
Yeah, but do they cover that kind of stuff?
I don't know.
It's like, I mean, who knows if they cover? I don't know if they cover that.
So Avengers is 14 years ago, plus the 5 years of the blip, right? So that's 19 years before.
Yeah.
But before this movie. So there's no way that waitress, who is Ashley Johnson, by the way, there's no way she has a 8-year-old child. There's just no way. Yeah.
Pooch. I always hear this. Pooch Shoot Riot. Yeah. I love the Thunderbolts soccer team sponsored by jokes. Had the theater cracking up. It was funny. Take it easy. You guys make my week. Sub to Roku, y'all. Yeah, go and do that.
Thank you, Pooch. I appreciate it.
Hasbro 24. I audibly said, "Oh shit!" when the little girl got voided. Yeah, that moment was so intense and raised the stakes for the entire MCU. Thanks for working hard. Thank you, man. Yeah, that was a dark moment for sure. Absolutely.
I was at a press screening and blurted it out. I was like,
yeah.
"What?"
Yep. The Ray Infinity Show. Brand New Day will be the Spider Island story arc. I don't know enough about that. Do you know that?
That makes sense if they make that work with the Spider-Man story. Yeah, we'll see.
Christian Bedard, I can't see Sam leading the Avengers in Doomsday. I just don't see him as a leader like Cap or Iron Man. I don't see any MCU characters leading the team. I think that that's why this is a smart idea to do the two teams, because Sam can have his team, someone else can have his team, and then the audience kind of decides which team that they want to root for, and then they all got to join together anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Fascia Bruta. Have you seen Fight or Flight? Looks pretty cool. I was supposed to see it tonight. It's the one with Josh Hartnett and Katie Sackhoff. It was supposed to be. I was actually going to see that tonight in New York because they're there, and Katie's going to be there tonight too. But I don't know.
Plane one, right?
But I don't know if I can make. I'm doing the stuff with Sam today, and I don't think I'll be able to make it into the city. So I was bummer because I wanted to see Katie. I haven't seen her since I was in LA. David Mars Moonkey Garland. You guys are the best. Don't spend my Canadian $5 in one place. Thank you, David. Very, very kind. I appreciate you saying that. The Ray Infinity Show, ladies man Mac Murdock should get with Yelena. I'd be down for it. I'd be down, but I want to see them back with Karen. I want to see him back with Karen.
Don't you want something better for Yelena than him?
Yeah. Armada. Perrin in Andor is a chump.
Oh, sure. Mon Mothma's husband. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he's great.
Yes,
he's great. But he's a chump. But he's very Los Angeles.
Yes,
yeah. Chino, Thunderbolts is a great movie. I think Bob is going to be the new Stan Lee in Marvel movies. That'd be hilarious. He's showing up. And this is the Ray Infinity Show. Will Sam already have his team or start in Avengers 5? It'll probably be established already.
Yeah. Especially because this one, as you said, the post-credit scene is 14 months later. So Sam has had time to put together his...
Yes.
Yeah, and the inherent issue... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because the president told him, you got to put the thing together. Yeah.
That's the former president, as Valentina alluded to. So the fact that Valentina can claim that her Avengers are the official Avengers versus Sam's, which were from the former president, that could be interesting too.
That's true. That movie's going to be like 3 hours long. Quiet. Always forgot how good Jeffrey Wright is an actor. He's brilliant. The beginning of the new episode is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Cisco Frisco. I love listening on Spotify while I work. Keep up the great discussion. Thunderbolts definitely became a top favorite. Movie made me cry. Yeah, it was emotional. Yeah, as far as Spotify goes, I like I don't know what's going on. The Friday episode, I finally got it on there. It was like doing some stupid thing, but it should be on there. I usually put them on Spotify as soon as we're off the air here.
Nice.
What's that? What's that up, John? C Entertainment 77. I think the timeline will go Thunderbolts plus mid-credit scene, only Daredevil Born Again series, Thunderbolts post-credit scene, then Fantastic Four. I see what you're saying. I see what he's saying. He's saying Thunderbolts, the movie, takes place first.
Yeah.
Then the mid-credit scene with the supermarket.
Right.
Then Daredevil happens timeline-wise.
Born Again. Okay.
Yeah. And then Thunderbolts.
Okay.
That's what he's saying.
Sure.
Yeah. Spoiler free, obviously. Thank you, Lee Masters. Kristian, were you happy with K2SO's intro to Andor season 2? I know you had concerns they ignored the comics completely. Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that once stuff goes down.
Once it happens. Right.
Exactly. If it happens.
You
guys already know. Alan Tudyk already said he's coming back. So I'll talk about it when it's time to talk about it. And John we can discuss it next week. Poot Shoot Riot. Imagine what Spidey would have felt in the void. I know. You talk about trauma.
Right.
I know. Yeah. Nathan Drake. Since Ross is the one who ordered Sam to restart Avengers, and now he's in prison, on whose authority is Sam still going ahead with? I think that's what Valentina is going to fight him on.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Wiley Todd. What's up, Wiley?
Hey, Wiley.
Would love to know your more in-depth thoughts on the Mr. McMahon doc show on Netflix. Not a wrestling fan and only watching it with Roka watch-alongs, Mr. McMahon is creep and awful dude. Yeah, I mean, you would, from everybody who's pointing at him.
Yeah,
it sure seems like there's a lot going on there that was pretty creepy. So, the doc I thought was John and I texted back and forth about it. There was a lot of stuff in there that we already kind of knew and other things too, but they went into it. I thought it was a very well put together documentary. And I like the fact that they went into the things to adjust once all that shit was going down. So, but there's rumors that he's going to start a new federation now.
Listen, I mean, if you watch that Hall of Fame ceremony at the WrestleMania, there are a lot of people that were still complimenting Vince, including Triple H, John Cena. So, like, it's a very complicated situation.
Is the lawsuit dropped still? Is the lawsuit still going on?
No, one section of the lawsuit was dropped, but the other section is still going.
Okay.
Or was thrown out, one of the two. But this whole situation here, I think, is very unsavory. But a lot of these guys and girls, ladies, enjoy their success is because of him. So it's a very difficult thing to untangle,
It really is. And so it's a really messy situation.
Yes.
Nerds Engaged, Star Wars post-credit scene. Old school Disney style Avengers. Ominous closes with SW post-credit. It's not Star Wars. SW post-credit, old school Disney style Avengers.
Secret
Wars. I was like, Star Wars. I'm just so used to SW. Secret Wars post-credit scene. Old school Disney style Avengers. Ominous closes and X-Men opens up to page number 1. No actor sees just direction. What say you? I think there's going to be more to that though, because I think the X-Men. I think once Secret Wars happens, the deal with you got to remember what that deal was. Not lawsuit, but the contract was. There was only, and I think we're past it now. But the deal was that when Disney bought over all the Fox properties, that they could use X-Men, but they could only use the cast that they were still contracted with, like Patrick Stewart, all the old Hugh Jackman, all the people that were contracted. You couldn't recast them and do that until I forget what year it was. It's either 2025 or 2026. It might be. So by the time Secret Wars comes out, I think we'll be introduced to the new X-Men.
Yeah.
I think Doomsday will have all the old ones, and then the new ones will start appearing in
100%. Because there's speculation. I've heard from sources that the X-Men movie will be right after Secret Wars. So.
Right, and the Russos are probably going to be doing it.
Yeah.
The Rey Infinity show. I think Brand New Day will seem normal, but at the end it will reveal that Peter was in Battle World the whole time. That is the Spider Island story.
Right.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the in-between Doomsday and Infinity War, so it would make total sense.
And why he probably might not show up in Doomsday,
Yeah. All right, John, so we've hit the end.
Hey.
So currently we're at 70.
All right, not too bad
not too bad. Now, sometimes people will, as you're signing off, will want to keep you on for a little. You still got 7 minutes if you wanted to stay for 7 more minutes, but we'll see if people are going to do just that. If not, let's give you a wrap up where can they get you? What do you got going on today? There is one more.
Thank you. Once again, another fun Monday. Thank you very much for having me on, Kristian. I always appreciate these Mondays with you. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on social media at The Rocha Says, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. I'm all over that stuff. Or you can subscribe to my Outlaw Nation channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Later on, Vogel and I are dropping our review for the most recent episode of Last of Us. And tomorrow back with Spill the Tequila. So, yeah.
Three more. Motorola.
Okay.
Messed up, I know, but so tired of watching kiddos teams lose. They're the Braves due to continuing to show up 3-12. Season couldn't end any faster. Is he talking about his kid?
I don't know. I guess.
Talking about his kids.
Kiddos.
Yeah, his son, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry, bud.
Sean McCabe, always great to see you guys. All the best lads. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you,
Sean. Last one for now.
Oh.
Matt W. Happy Revenge of the Fifth to hit you boast. Do you guys have a favorite side Star Wars character? I'll tell you who I really like that I wish that they would do more with is Quinlan Voss.
Yeah.
Wish they would do more with him. They mentioned him quickly in the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah. Holdo is my guy. I always would love a Holdo, like a quiet little 5-episode Holdo series animated would be hilarious.
Did you watch any of the new what's the Tales of the Underworld?
I have not been sent the links for that one. So
no, it's already on Disney Plus now.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yeah.
no, I haven't watched any of it. Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
I will watch it I'll watch it maybe tonight, this afternoon or something. It's got to be quick, right? They're like 10 minutes each.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just so funny though. You could rewind 10 years ago. Like I would have watched all of them within seconds. I have no desire to watch them. I have no desire to watch them. I have no desire to watch Skeleton Crew. I'm barely. It's like Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm excited to see it. And Andor, obviously. Andor just ate up the second it came out. But I'm just not excited about this shit anymore. It's just like you know what this is. By not getting excited about it anymore, it allows me to not be disappointed anymore about it.
Well, I also think, listen, I'm older than you, so I'm going to say this to you. Don't be mad. But as you get older, you kind of move away from some of the more, how can I say this without being mean, but more of the less mature stuff or the more kid stuff or the more teenager stuff. You kind of move away from it. It happens naturally.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm not
insulting it either.
I know you're not, but I know what you're saying. But I think that there's an animation side of it that it's just so repetitive now. I would watch some of the animation stuff if they did, stuff from the Old Republic. I watch Visions. When Visions comes out, I always watch it.
Well, Visions is an art piece, man. That's all fun.
I'm just so tired of the same Filoni verse. I'm just tired of it.
That's fair.
Boring. The same characters over and over and over again.
I don't disagree with you.
Joey. Hold on. He's a beast. Consistent. 2 out of 3. 3 out of 3. I love that, man. Yeah. I mean, you're baseball family. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Love
it.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to John for being here.
Thank you.
You guys will Apple Podcasts, Spotify later, John. Thank you for everything you guys have done for the show, for the channel in general. We really appreciate you. We'll be back here tomorrow with myself and Roxy. So right now, the goal is Wednesday is supposed to be that my interview with Louis Pullman. That's what the episode will potentially be. We'll see. But Brett's coming into town on Wednesday. I am excited. We're getting rid of this. You can't see it, but this big table that I have here, we're getting rid of it. We're going to put the lights, we're going to change the lights and do a couple other things. It's going to be pretty great. So we're going to change up the studio. You should see the changes over the course of the next week or two. That's it. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Subscribe to that Clips channel and peace out. Look at that. It's me on a Clips channel. What's going on, everybody? I've been telling you guys about it, and we always get people saying, hey, where are the time codes? Where are the time codes? And sometimes the time codes just aren't easy to do. Sometimes you guys are doing the time codes and we're posting them. But what we are able to do is take the channel and clip it out. So if you miss this live, if you miss the show live and you miss the segments and you're not able to catch up, well, now you have a Clips channel. You can go over there, you can subscribe to the channel, and you can see all the clips. And it's not just the clips from this show. It's clips from interviews that I've done and other things. We're trying to build it up. We're trying to get to 10,000 soon. I think we can do it. We're closing in on 9. So hopefully you guys will go on over there, check it out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you over there.